Hello students, this is Praveen Purohit, Department of Physics, BV Bhumreddy College, Bidar. So in today's session, we are going to study about thermodynamics module 5. So let us start. So in the previous sessions, we have seen the zeroth law of thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics. In this session, we are going to study about second law of thermodynamics, which is a very important law. The second law of thermodynamics includes two statements. There are two statements in this second law. First one is Kelvin Planck's statement. Second one, Clausius' statement. So let us see one by one. Kelvin Planck's statement. So it is impossible to make an engine which works on a single temperature source and converts all of its heat completely into work. So whatever the heat energy is generating in the engine is not possible to convert all of its heat completely into work. There may be some loss of heat energy in the engine. So that statement, that is Kelvin Planck's statement. So let us see what this is. So look at the picture here. So heat source Q1, it is equals to 100 joule, heat engine, and then it is converting W, work done. So it is impossible to construct a device which works on a single heat source and converts all of its heat completely into work. So we know that heat transfer takes place from a higher temperature body to a lower temperature body. But here there is no lower temperature body at all. So look at this figure here. There is only a heat source and heat engine, but there is no lower temperature body. But here there is no lower temperature body. So we have only one higher temperature body. So heat transfer cannot take place in this case. Thus, this heat cannot be converted to some work without any heat transfer. So this is what Kelvin Planck's statement of second law wants to say. Clausius' statement. I can't go from lower temperature body to higher temperature body without consuming any work. There is a hot body and there is a cold body, Q1. So in between that, there is a heat pump and no work supplied. That means what it is Clausius statement is telling to us. Here in the above picture, heat Q1 is at lower temperature body. Q1 is at a lower temperature body. And it is saying that it will not travel to a higher temperature body without absorbing any heat. So remember, heat always flows from a higher temperature body to a lower temperature body. Its reverse flow does not take place on its own. This is only the Clausius statement for second law of thermodynamics. So what is the statement? It is impossible to construct a device that can transfer heat from a cold body to the hot body without absorbing any work. So it is not possible to construct a device that can transfer heat from a colder body to the hotter body without absorbing any work. Or we can say that heat cannot itself flow from colder body to hotter body. Third law of thermodynamics. So before starting the third law of thermodynamics, I would like to explain two terms. Randomness, entropy. There are two important terms we should know. Randomness. The movement of molecules is known as randomness. So to understand the randomness, look at the picture here. In the diagram, you can see the students are sitting in the classroom and they are sitting very quietly. So this situation, how quiet the students are sitting on their bench and they are not moving at all. This is exactly the situation when there is a strict teacher in your class. Suppose if there is a strict teacher in your class, what you will do? You will sit in your bench very quietly without any movement. So this is exactly the situation here, isn't it? So this is exact situation which is seen during the recess time. Look at the picture here. Here in the leisure time, what you will do? You will wander here and there in the ground. Means there is a lot of movement is happening. Students are moving here and there in a classroom. So now we will come to know about what is randomness. So in the first image, the students are not moving. That means they are just sitting on their position. Thus their randomness is 0. But in the second figure, the students are moving here and there during the recess time. This means that there is randomness is more. So this is the simple concept of the randomness. So it relates to the movement of molecules. Now look at the figure here, solid, liquid and gas. The same thing happens in solids, liquids and gases too. Solids show less movement of molecules. Liquids have more movement of molecules and gases shows the maximum movement of molecules. As we know that in solids, the molecules are closely bounded to each other. The space between the molecules is very, very less. That means the less movement will be happening between the molecules. In the liquids compared to solids, there is a more movement because there is a space in between the molecules. And gases shows the maximum movement of molecules because the space between the molecules is larger than the solids and the liquids in the gases. So gases shows the maximum movement of molecules. Now you can be able to tell me in which solids, liquids or gases the randomness is more. So the movement of molecules is known as randomness. So thus we can say that solids have less randomness because in solids there is a less movement of molecules. If there is a less movement of molecules, then we can say that there is a less randomness. Liquids have more randomness compared to solids and gases have maximum randomness because it shows the maximum movement of molecules. Second one, entropy. The measurement of randomness of the system is known as entropy. We know the randomness now. So how to measure the randomness? So that measurement of randomness of the system is known as entropy. Or we can say that entropy is the measurement of disorder of the system. So it is a disorder, measurement of disorder of the system. So it is just a measurement of how much randomly the molecules are moving in a system. In solids, the molecules are properly arranged, which means it has less randomness. So the entropy of solids is least. Why the entropy of solids is least? Because the molecules in the solids shows the less randomness. In gases, the molecules move very fast throughout the container. It has more randomness, which means it has more entropy. If the molecule movement of the molecules is more, the entropy will be more. The randomness is more, the entropy will be more. So the entropy of liquids lies between the solids and the liquids. Now the third law of thermodynamics. It states that the value of entropy of a completely pure crystalline substance is 0 at absolute 0 temperature. So, the pure crystalline substance is the entropy of a pure crystalline substance is 0 when it is at an absolute 0 temperature. So, what happens when temperature increases? As the temperature increases, the molecules vibrate with a greater speed, the oscillations increases, the linear motion increases, rotational motion of molecules increases, thus the randomness also increases. It results in increase of entropy. If temperature increases, the increase in the entropy happens. Now what happens when temperature decreases? The answer is very simple. Molecular vibration decreases, the randomness of molecules decreases. This results in a decrease of entropy. So temperature decreases, that means decrease in the entropy. So the third law of thermodynamics states that the value of entropy of a pure crystalline substance is 0 at absolute 0 temperature. This means if we have a pure crystalline solid substance and if its temperature is absolute 0 Kelvin, then its entropy will be 0. So this is all about the second law of thermodynamics, third law of thermodynamics. Thank you.